This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we greet you on this particular Saturday morning with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield, and welcome to another episode of 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. I have to raise my voice a little bit because the voice is hoarse. Hoarse, of course. So, Ed, are you prepared? Are you equipped? Are you conditioned to carry the show and do a bulk of the speaking? Oh, look at this. You have a pup, but before you get to your pup, would you like to see the pup I've got?
I've seen the pups you've had, them little dudes.
I'm talking about this dog.
Food. I just couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I went to the fridge and I opened up the meat drawer. You know what the meat drawer is, right?
Yeah. What was in there?
Well, I'll tell you what was in there. You know that bacon that's like maple? It's got maple flavor.
The maple kind, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I took that out and I thought,
Yeah.
I know who would like that. Me. So I ate it.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
Nope. Not kidding. I also noticed there was some beef in there. Yeah, steak, juicy. Well, I ate that too. But I went back to the fridge just a few minutes ago, and I put something together really special. You're going to love this one. I took some chicken.
Yeah.
I put some cheese on it, and I covered it with...
Covered it with what?
I covered it with cat treats.
Yeah.
Then guess what?
What?
I gave it to the cat.
Oh, he couldn't deal with that. But
I've seen that. I saw that a while ago. I loved it. Loved it. I'd send it to everybody. I'd said that would be my dog if I mentioned what's in the refrigerator. That's tremendous. That's an all-time great one.
Who doesn't love a talking dog? That's right.
What do they all talk? They all talk.
We have a lot to go with you on the program, and we did just find out we will be joined again for the second time in 3 weeks by our pal Nick Hahn. You remember Nick Hahn coming on the show a couple weeks back during the Kentucky Derby. He's going to be on after his radio show up in ESPN Richmond and ESPN Harrisonburg. He does that as I clear my throat. I need lozenges. I need water. I need all kinds of things here. But he'll talk about the Preakness today, part of TheRacingBiz.com. And again, the Off to the Races radio show that he does up in the 804 and the 540. We'll chat about that. We'll chat about, I'm sure, the NBA and NHL playoffs that are starting to hit their conference final rounds and make our picks and go over everything in the world of sports. You'll hear a couple of local interviews we did with a football coach in the state, college football coach, and a football player in the state as we get you closer to the countdown of football. Plus, we have our mailbag segment. We haven't done a mailbag in a while, so we've got some questions from some of our viewers and listeners and participants out there. You can always hit the mailbag if you like. If you got a question, it can be sports related or not on this program anytime, any day or night. HatfieldSports@gmail.com or find us on all the various social media platforms. How was your week, though? Good, bad, indifferent?
Week was good. Kept my consecutive eyes open, feet on the floor streak going, so I'll take that anytime. The kiddies weren't too bad over there at Smithfield High School. As you know, we're getting down to...
I can't say the same for the schools I was at this week, but go ahead.
I was going to say, is your voice hoarse because you're yelling at kids broadcasted too much. There has to be a reason behind it.
Well, I lost my voice when I broadcasted 12 games at the PIT last month, but I didn't broadcast any games this week. So you do the process of elimination and figure that out.
Yeah, you had to yell at some. You had to yell at some of the youngsters. But you got to remember, this is the time of the year. I forgot to tell you, kids are all over the place. They see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. They're at the end of the tunnel. This is why I always said school needs to end Memorial Day week, not in June, but Memorial Day week. High schools are finishing SOLs. After SOLs, it's really SOL, but a different meaning for those letters. It's a time of the year I didn't like at all because the kids did nothing.
You're not entirely wrong, but that's another topic for another time. We have some sports-related issues to go over today, so let's do that because it would be awesome if we did that, right? And we're talking about the fight that is going to take place tonight at the Norfolk Scope involving one Keyshawn Davis, Ed, the Norfolk native, who, of course, you remember, we had the fight that was canceled because of missing weight. He almost had this fight that was canceled, nearly missed weight, but he just barely made it. He's taking on Nahir Albright in a 12-round super lightweight matchup. Keyshawn's a perfect 14-0, 10 knockouts. Albright is 17-2-1 with 7 knockouts. There is some history. They fought back in 2023. Davis won, but it was later changed to a no contest because he tested positive for marijuana. And now Albright also has some history. He beat Keyshawn's older brother, Kelvin, on a fight card. There was some issues backstage, altercation. He is a heavy favorite to win this fight. Do you know how heavy of a favorite he is to win this fight this evening at Scope? And will you be there, by the way?
No, won't be at Scope. Extremely heavy favorite. But let me throw something there. Isn't one of these guys like half a pound over? Do they make it? I saw
that
it
was
somewhere.
Him. That was him.
But he made it. He made his weight.
But he was. So the deal was that he weighed in at 140.1, but was given 2 hours to come in at 140 even, and he did that. Albright was at 139.7. So yeah, it wasn't 0.5, but whatever fractions, tenths of a pound, that's neither here nor there.
Say that weight again.
For which one? For Albright or for Davis?
For Davis. How much did he weigh?
140 even. He came in at 140.1.
They could give me 20 years to get down to that weight. I would make it.
Okay. You're probably right. But you don't live the healthy lifestyle that some of these athletes do, or your partners on the podcast do. Anyhow, as we move forward to this matchup, you won't be ringside. Maybe I will be. You'll have to come to Scope and find out, right? Minus 1,500 is Keyshawn Davis at last check. Albright is plus 1,000. And by the way, this is something that those that are into that type of thing, like the horse racing, you are allowed to put shekels on in our Commonwealth of VA. Yeah.
I would definitely go heavy.
Derek nailed it, by the way. That is exactly what transpired, essentially. I'm imagining that's what allowed him to meet weight.
Yeah, I would say it's about the only way.
Not the only way. It's not true.
Well,
I mean, within 2 hours, it's one of the only ways. Yes, within the time frame, yes. But you can listen. This is honest to God truth. You know how much I walk now since I've gone on my health and wellness. I've lost literally like a pound in a day just from walking. And you think that's crazy? But I'm serious. Not in addition to drinking water, and of course, when you drink water, you're getting rid of those fat cells. So, but yeah, you can do it by walking. But within 2 hours, it's not going to be possible unless you go that method. Yeah.
Right. Walking is easy. It's the easiest thing to do for people. You're not running. You're not jarring your joints and all that. It's just that you've got. And when people say they don't have time, well, again, you get 24 hours in every day. How you use it is up to you. So there's time for everything and there's time for nothing. You just have to figure out how you're going to put them in there. But that's what I need to do, is get on a regular walking agenda at the very least, to get feeling good. And
But is this about you or Keyshawn Davis right now?
well, it's about me, because I'm not going to fight. Keyshawn's going to win this thing easy. I mean,
Are you sure?
let me say in the Charles Barkley way, this is guaranteed. He's not going to fight at home and lose.
So so how early does he do it? Before round 6 or 7? Does he do it right off the bat? Bingo, bango, bongo.
I would say this will be over. The number 5 is in my head.
5. All right. How about this? I think it will go more than 6 rounds. And if I'm wrong, I'll let you hit me in the face with a boxing glove. But if I'm right, you get to let me hit you in the face with a boxing glove.
See, either way, those are violent, and I'm not a violent person. If I hit you, I'm going to have a million people come down on me saying, you hit that little kid in the face.
Little kid. Wow.
And if you hit me, they're going to say, he hit that old man in the face with a gun. That he is despicable. And I don't want the few fans you have to lose hope.
The few fans I have. Wow.
Yeah. And Woody says it takes 70 minutes to, what do you say, walk 4 miles?
Yes, that's what he said. Correct.
And Woody, you the best. 4 miles every morning, 70 minutes. That is tremendous.
You should have seen my Fitbit yesterday, how many steps I got in. All right. So I'm going to say he does it in about 7 or 8 rounds. And I think it will be a knockout. But I think you're underestimating this Albright guy, because they say styles makes fights. You've heard that phrase. And perhaps his style, and maybe Keyshawn, I think physically, pound for pound, here we go, is the more talented fighter. That's not the issue here. But does he get caught up in the whole emotion of the fight? And does the caginess, does the savviness of his opposition here make him have to struggle? And sometimes inferior fighters can do that. He'll have a tactic or two that can make this, but you don't see that. You see this being done in 5 rounds or fewer.
First of all, again, you have to refresh my memory. Is Davis a knockout fighter, meaning most of his wins have been knockouts?
Well, if you listened to earlier, he's 14-0 with 10 knockouts.
To me, that's a knockout puncher. He's got a lot of
Albright
knockouts.
is 17-2-1 with 7 knockouts. You know, I'm statistically driven by this program.
You're right. Albright's not the proverbial tomato can.
I know.
Fighter that's thrown at him. So, and didn't he beat Davis before?
Well, like we just said, if you were paying attention, which I know that's not always your strong suit, they fought in 2023. Davis won a close decision. But it was changed to a no contest because Keyshawn tested positive for marijuana.
Well, okay. First of all,
I didn't make them. Don't get mad at me. I'm just reading you the facts of what happened.
It should have never been. Okay, he won outright. Period. I don't want to hear.
Well, you asked the question. I gave you the thing.
Yeah, he's smoking a joint. So now we're going to say it's a no contest. You know.
That's what they did. I didn't say that. You asked me a question.
The officials are stupid. Smoking a joint is not going to help you win the doggone fight. And if anything, it's going to mess you up for the fight. So if he was doing a performance enhancement drug, that's a little different. Weed's not a performance enhancement drug. It's a relaxer. So that was a stupid ruling. He won. He beat him.
By the way, last year they met again, but it wasn't in the ring. After Albright beat Keyshawn's older brother, Kelvin, on a fight card where Keyshawn had to withdraw because of the lightweight title being given up because of the weight issue. There was a backstage altercation, which ESPN's cameras, among others, I think, caught that. So he's had some, but again, he does have a following. He is a local guy, and he is quite a talent. So this is a big night for him.
Yes,
so people all over the country, not just in the 757, are rooting for him. They're pulling hard for him and looking for him to put on a show this evening at Scope. And for those that aren't able to make it, I think they can watch it on a streaming. I'm not sure. I think it's like DAZ, something like that. I don't know. So I apologize not knowing the exact streaming thing. Before we take a break, I know you were into it last night, the NBA playoffs. Conference finals are now set in one side, not in the other side just yet, because there's a game 7 coming up tomorrow night And speaking of streaming, you'll have to watch that on the Amazon Prime stream to see Game 7 of the Detroit Pistons play host to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who Edward has said since the series began, probably didn't jump off it, even when they lost in overtime in Game 5, that the Pistons would dispatch the James Harden-led, Donovan Mitchell-led Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games. First 4 went the way of the home teams, 2 to Detroit, 2 to Cleveland. Then the road team won Game 5, Cleveland and Detroit. Road team pummeled the home team in Game 6 as the Pistons gave the Cavs their first home loss. And meanwhile, a 30-point beatdown, a bloodbath with the Spurs over OKC's Thunder. As you see, over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now they play OKC's Thunder coming up in the Western Conference Finals after they beat Minnesota last night. San Antonio totally taken apart the Wolves. And I watched some of this on the stream. I didn't watch as much of the Pistons and the Cavaliers, Ed, but Stephon Castle. I know we talked about Victor Wembanyama with Chris Monter last week and how special he is, the unicorn, and him getting ejected, by the way, from Game 4. And we know about De'Aaron Fox, who played with the ankle injury. But Stephon Castle, this guy is special. And it begs the question, how did the Houston Rockets draft Reed Sheppard 3rd over Castle 4th? They need to be drug tested. There we go. Back to Keyshawn Davis. They need to be drug tested.
Castle, I thought, was a very big talent coming out of UConn. I think at that time, correct me if I'm wrong, Reed Sheppard was more of a point, and they felt they needed a point guard. Castle really wasn't a point.
Well, he's listed as a point and a 2 guard, but I think more than anything, they're both guards, and you talk about combo guards, pure points. I think the thought process was, and this is the funny thing to say, that Castle came from just a winning program, which you say he came from UConn, Sheppard came from Kentucky, but UConn's done a lot more winning lately than Kentucky. And I thought there was some questions about his shooting and how he would translate to the NBA game. Well, dude was making threes left and right, and he is that dude. There should be no questions about it. Matter of fact, they should change. Paul Pierce got the nickname The Truth. That guy is the truth. He is incredible. But this sets up what basketball fans want to see, and nothing against the Eastern Conference, with the Knicks waiting for the Pistons or the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals to get to the NBA Finals. But you feel like this series right here that's on the screen, and the hockey's going to probably get, we think, Colorado against Carolina, which is what we thought from the start of the NHL playoffs. But this could be an epic playoff series and the beginning of a rivalry that's born. We think about it in sports. You think about Yankees, Red Sox, and that's going deep. You think about the Michigan, Ohio States, and the Duke Carolinas, that's going deep. But think about your pro sports rivalries we've had lately, like the Cavaliers or Heat. I guess you could say Cavaliers, LeBron against Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and the Warriors, but more so like pro football, where you had Peyton Manning, Tom Brady rivalry, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Bills, Chiefs rivalry. This feels like this is the beginning of something we'll see for 5, 7, 8, 10 years potentially. You agree?
Yeah, I definitely think the type of players on both teams, the intensity they go at each other. San Antonio, once upon a time, was a great program under Greg Popovich. Then they dipped a little bit. Now they're back up there. Oklahoma City, a team with some tremendous young guys, and a team that's probably going to stay up there, if I'm not mistaken. They got like 12 first-round picks in the next 5 years or 4 years. So they're going to be able to continue to replenish. And they're going to go at it. It's interesting in this series now. San Antonio won the regular season, dominated over Oklahoma City. So, but now it's playoffs where Oklahoma City seems to go to a little different level. So now, and they've been through it. San Antonio hasn't, this particular group. So now, what is that going to do? Which makes, I think, for an interesting story, because I put a lot on, well, what they do in the regular season. People say, the regular season don't matter. Yes, it does.
Well, it depends. It depends on if there's a guy or two, and it could be a key cog played in the regular season matchup. Like, for example, if the Knicks played the Pistons coming up, right, and Cade Cunningham or Jalen Brunson missed 2 or 3 of those matchups, you think that matters? What would happen in regular season? I don't, because that's the best player on each team. So it does matter to an extent. I do think you have to be careful of putting all the stock in it. But, I mean, the Thunder didn't lose a lot of games, and the Spurs beat them more than anybody. So that's got to do something for him psychologically and mentally.
Right. San Antonio had, not that Oklahoma City is going to be thinking of, oh man, we lost to them earlier. We're nervous. No, they're thinking about today, the actual playing of that game. But they do have that in their background. I think it's going to make an interesting series. It'll be the proverbial true championship series because I think either one of these, whoever wins, will beat whoever comes out of the East, which I'm hoping it's the Knicks. Most people are picking the Knicks. We'll wait and see. But interesting. It gives a little bit more life to the NBA playoffs, which sometimes we don't get that.
Well, and I think the key to that series is going to be, well, number one is Jalen Williams going to be available. He's often been the number 2 option behind reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, for OKC. You obviously have Chet Holmgren inside. But when the Thunder played both bigs together, Chet Holmgren, who's got the same thin frame but is a unique talent, much like Wembanyama, and Isaiah Hartenstein together on the floor, 2 bigs, I think it puts them at a disadvantage with what the Spurs can do spreading out with the guards because they not only have De'Aaron Fox at point guard and Castle, but they have Devin Vassell, Champagnie, Keldon Johnson's a wiry wing. They have Harper's come out of nowhere. Dylan Harper really having a great year. They have these guards that can spread you out and they can knock down outside shots galore. And I think they're better served. I think Charles Barkley hit on this point the other night on TV, playing Chet the 5 and not those guys together because it slows them down. And the Thunder are going to need some shooting, but be able to play up and down and see if that can wear on Wemby, get him in foul trouble. The Wolves couldn't make enough outside shots. That was their undoing in that series. They missed Dante DiVincenzo, much like the Pistons missed Duncan Robinson from Game 5, and then he played in Game 6 and gave them a huge lift off the bench like Reed did on the inside. But I think that's going to be the big deal there. I think it goes 6 games, and I do think OKC wins, but I will not be surprised if the Spurs win a Game 1 or a Game 2 on the road because OKC has been off for a while, and they're due to lose one, and the Spurs are playing really, really well right now.
I go OKC in 7, same thing as you. Won't be surprised.
6.
Yeah, I'm going to pick him in 7. You got him in 6.
Mm-hmm.
I won't be surprised if San Antonio wins, and I'm kind of pushing for San Antonio. Don't dislike OKC. But
I'm banking on the premise that Williams is going to be available by Game 1 or 2. If he does not play in the first 2 games, I would change my pick to Spurs in 7. Honestly, he's got to be back because I think they're going to lose one of the first 2, and then they'll bounce back and win on the road, and then win a Game 5 to kind of get that leg up 3-2 in the series. But I think it's going to be a war. I'd be surprised if there's a lot of blowouts in that series. We've had a lot of blowouts. Last night, blowouts galore. I'd be surprised if there are blowouts in that series. So, are you on board for the Pistons to dust off the Cavs, or do you think James Harden rises to the occasion and his buddy Donovan Mitchell as well to win a Game 7 in Motown?
pick the Pistons in 7, though I didn't have a whole lot of faith in because I had them over Orlando, and when they were down 3-1, I jumped ship. But I'll stick.
Did you jump ship? Did you think they were going to lose last night? Yes or no? Be honest. 3-point game at the half, done after 1 quarter of play. Did you think they were going to lose last night? Yes or no?
No.
You thought they're going to win? Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think they were going to pull. Again, Pistons had best record in the East. I thought people forget that, and they don't look real smooth. They don't look real pretty out there, and they're a physical team. They are physical.
Yep.
And it keeps them in most games as long as they don't lose their head. And they got probably one of the craziest dudes in the NBA. Stewart
off the bench, yeah.
He
gets an offensive foul every game, but he's an enforcer type for them.
Yes,
and to your point, they have times where they go through lulls and droughts scoring the basketball, and it hurts them as it did in Game 5. Even though they defend the 3 better than the Cavaliers do, which makes them probably a better matchup for the Knicks, in addition to them having home court and having a history with the Knicks, taking them to 6 games last year, would have possibly won it if that foul on the Tim Hardaway 3 was called in that game. I think it was game number 4. And then they beat them regular season this year pretty handily in their matchups compared to the Cavs. But I'm telling you, I'm going to pick the Pistons too. But remember this and save this clip and clip it later. I got a funny feeling. I do. Maybe it's indigestion, upset stomach. Let's hope it's not something else.
Probably is.
I got a funny feeling Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are going to have a big game in Game 7. They're due. They're motivated. They're hearing the naysayers. They think that they're going to flop like they generally do in the playoffs. And I just feel like it's going to take Tobias Harris going out and having another great Game 7 like he did, because their mentality might just be, all right, Cade Cunningham is special. He does turn it over a lot, but he's special. We're not going to let the others get off. And if they let Cade get 38-40 and the Pistons can't get enough points from its bench and the other guys, like Jalen Duren, he's a little dinged up and he's not been great. Cavs might be able to do it. And they got to have Mobley and Allen, both of them, play better on the glass. They've not been rebounding consistently. Mobley likes to drift out the perimeter. But I got a funny feeling the Cavs pull that out. I just do. I'm going to pick the Pistons, but if it's close, I actually think that's advantage Cleveland. Isn't that a weird thing to say if it's close? But I think it is advantage for road team.
Yeah, I think this Game 7 will be either way. I don't. You can lean toward one way, then all of a sudden change it, and I'll figure it to be a close game regardless. But I'm going to stick with Pistons somehow in the end, getting it. Looking for Allen to have a big game. Looking for Allen for Cleveland to have a big game, though.
He could. He very well could. And last thing as we go to break, are you bothered at all that it's on Prime for a Game 7, not on NBC, not on ABC, not on ESPN? A Game 7 on the streaming service? A Game 7.
My mad dog Chris Russo, give us a chance to watch the damn things. It is what it is. I don't like it. Too used to having the major networks having the games, but they're all over the place. And I have streaming, so all I have to do is go to the game, click on it, and it's on. I don't have to go find it wherever it's at.
I've got it through. I don't want to divulge my sources. I don't have Prime, but I have another route that I'm getting the game.
Yeah, you have illegal.
Not illegal. No, it's not illegal. What? Did you say it was illegal? What'd you say?
Yeah, Gene Jones, the Pistons. Gene, we're agreeing with you. They're not going to win it all.
Here's my only issue with the streaming. My only issue with streaming is this. I'm being honest here. It is so far behind the actual game. I can put on the Sirius XM radio feed for either team, the ESPN radio feed, national feed. I can go to other services that give you the updates, the play-by-play through the ESPN or NBA.com apps. And the stream is like 4 possessions, not 2 possessions. It's 4 to 5 possessions behind. It ruins it for me. I'm sorry. My TV is about a possession and a half, sometimes a possession behind. But when we're 4 or 5 possessions behind, I mean, if you get on X now or Twitter, social media, you're going to know who won the game before you hear it, if you or watch it. I mean, it's just, that's ridiculous to me. But
it's the way things are going.
Real quick, Gino, I still dislike the Pistons because if people know me, like diehard Karl Malone, 2004. The Pistons just, Lakers. Slava Medvedenko having to step in for Karl to guard Rasheed Wallace, and he couldn't. And Chauncey Billups just taking Gary Payton to the woodshed. And that was just a very, very tough series for Malone. And I was a Laker fan for a year. But, yeah, very upset.
Man, Gino, him and Karl Malone, Gino, that's 20 years ago.
It was a long time ago, 22 years ago.
And I know that's hard. I just said it, and I thought to myself, Karl Malone 20 years ago?
22 years ago, yeah. Shaq and Kobe, and they were in their primes. Though that was the beginning of the end for Shaq, who went to Miami and won the title with the Heat after losing to the Pistons in 7 the next year in the conference finals. And Stan Van Gundy, who coached both those teams, doing the broadcast last night on the Amazon Prime with the Wolves and Spurs game with Ian the Birdman Eagle, but. Anyhow, a lot more to do here on 757 Sports Talk. Again, we've got some interview clips coming up. We've got Nick Hahn in the next hour of the show to talk Preakness, the ponies, and our mailbag segment 2. And in this world of sports where we often discuss controversies and scandals such as steroids and gambling and dogfighting, there's now a cockfighting situation that has come to the forefront. We'll touch on that when we return right here on 757 Sports Talk. They're watching where, Edward?
We got it here on Kova Sports TV. Like, share, and you got to subscribe.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams Lloyd's, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7 right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
All right, here with Coach Quintin Hunter after his team's 8-3 season. The Emory Henry Wasps getting ready for his third year at the helm. Prospect camp in Virginia Beach. Coach, you're doing all these different satellite camps, I guess you call them, prospect camps all across the state of Virginia. This one tonight at Kempsville High School. Tell me about the value of being all over Virginia, because you have a lot of Virginia guys on your roster. That's a big emphasis moving forward still.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the emphasis that, I've been in with as far as being part of the Emory Henry tradition and history. We want to be in the state of Virginia, right? That's home, and just we want to be on this side of the water as well. So we want to be in the 7.5, we want to be in the 804, we want to be in the 504, we want to be in Nova. So just putting our brand out there and just letting guys know that we are here, we are in the state, and that we want to be in the state of Virginia first.
You've been a part of the transformation going to Division II ranks. You've been a part of the growth of this program. We've taken over for Coach Kurt Newsom, a legend in Virginia football, high school and college respects. Tell me about what you've learned in your process, going from the playing days to coaching to being the head man at this program, making that transition, having success doing it.
I think the biggest thing as far as, starting off being a player is that you learn and you embrace from the wisdom that you've been around. I've been very, very fortunate to be around Coach Newsom and learning from him. Without the success that he's had and what I've watched him do, I wouldn't be here. And then also with the staff that I have around me, without them, we're not successful. So just learning from him and understanding it's not an I thing, it's a we thing, right? And that's what Emory Henry is. We're family. We're going to continue to be a family. And that's from, till I'm at this realm, that's always going to be our tradition and our history, and we're going to continue with that path.
And certainly your knowledge and intellect is apparent, but your entire staff, quality people. I hate to pick out just one person, but the name that jumps out to me and watching them with the kids is Mike Compton, former Super Bowl champion. What's it like having someone like that with his background on your staff?
I mean, we got connected. Actually, I went over to UVA Wise for about 3 years, and that's where we met. And just learning from someone like him, as humbled as he is, He's got a lot of wisdom. He's got a lot of knowledge. So, with me being here, it's the biggest thing is just making sure you have guys like him around you to be able to continue to lead these young men the right way and be very, very successful. And being attention to detail, and that's who he is. So I'm very, very fortunate to have someone like that on your staff to be able to establish, anything and everything that he does and that he brings to the table.
What are you looking for in Emory and Henry Wasp? What are the things that matter to you as you go through the process and try to select players?
I think it's everything is about just wanting to be a part of a team and being, one of the biggest words that is unknown and hidden right now is loyalty. Loyalty is very, very big to us. We want guys that want to be a part of the family-oriented mindset, right? We do things together. It's not, like I said earlier, it's not an I thing, it's a we thing. But being a part of a Division II program that wants to win, that want to develop, that want to challenge and have that success on and off the field. So I'm looking for someone that just wants to be a blue-collar young man, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be given to you. I want guys that want to earn everything that they got, right? And that's not just being on the field, but that's in life in general. Earn everything you got, and you'll make it, and you'll go far with it.
Absolutely. And lastly, I know it's different for you guys at the Division II level compared to the Division I FBS, FCSs, but give me a sense on this squad this coming year. And I know out of the gate, Valdosta State, 4-time national champs. You get a heavy hitter right there in game one, don't you?
Yeah. So, like I said, Emory Henry, as far as we getting into Division II, that's being able to put Emory Henry on the map, right? We don't want to be so much in this region. I think for the past 2 years, I think we definitely got to earn the respect. And that's something that we're still, wanting to do. But I think as we continue to go in these years in Division II, you got to be able to embrace and get out your comfort zone. And playing a caliber team like Valdosta State is definitely going to be a challenge, and it's not going to be easy. But we're excited about the opportunity to go play them.
We look forward to it. Watching Coach Q and the Wasps, all the best, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So you heard Ed from Quintin Hunter, head football coach of the Wasp of Emory and Henry. Don't get stung. Appreciate him giving us some time. Earlier this week at Kinsville High School, it is 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. And Ed, we teased it a little bit earlier in the program that there are always different types of scandals and controversies in sports: steroids, gambling, dogfighting. And now coming to the forefront is cockfighting, involving not just a marquee name in the sport of Major League Baseball, but two men that will be involved in the Preakness Stakes this weekend. We're talking about Jose Ortiz and Arad Ortiz Jr. Those are the jockeys, by the way, of a couple of the horses that we'll get to in a moment. But they've been tied to this illegal cockfighting ring in Puerto Rico. Now, not in the United States. We know it is illegal in all 50 states. However, Ortiz, by the way, Jose is 32. Arad is 33. I should have Edwin Diaz's age in front of me. I'll give it to you in a second. But these are, people that have been involved in the sports realm here for quite some time. Diaz, by the way, is 32 as well. Now, the Dodgers have not announced anything in terms of investigation for Diaz. And I guess my problem here is he's been tied to this, and it's been acknowledged. Yet when the Cleveland Guardians last year had two prominent pitchers, including their closer, and baseball decided to do its own investigation, they were suspended before anything was found out as definite. So to me, it just is interesting that one organization operates one way and another's just all they care about is just, and again, I'm just saying it. I know it sounds like, oh, you're just hating. No, this is a very serious situation here. What do you make of it? Because not only does it put a cloud over a prominent player in baseball, but horse racing, which has already got its controversies. You don't have the Golden Tempo who won the Kentucky Derby racing. Now you have these two jockeys getting ready to run the horses on Saturday, and they're involved in this too.
First, let me say any type of animal fighting that is perpetrated on purpose for the enjoyment of people to watch the animals try to kill each other is, I don't know what word I want to use. I got to be careful. I don't use the wrong language. And I don't care. It may be legal in Puerto Rico, but if you're playing on a Major League Baseball, any professional sport, college, whatever, you go by their rules. Doesn't matter where you're from rules. Now, you mentioned about Cleveland. Okay, they hurry up and suspend those guys. And we frankly haven't heard from them since.
No, and those two guys, by the way, Emmanuel Clase, who was one of the premier, I'd say he was the best closer. Sorry, I know Diaz was that for a year, but I think Clase was better than him, or just as good, however you want to view it. And then the other one they got from the Pirates, Luis Ortiz, who was expected to be not their ace, but a main guy. And I give Cleveland credit. They did the right thing. People didn't like it, but you need to do the right thing. But it begs the question, do you think the Dodgers should do something? And furthermore, should these jockeys be allowed to race horses in the Preakness?
Well, and again, it goes back to what I was saying. If Major League, let's take baseball since that's what we're looking at.
And by the way, real quickly, before you go further, Talkin is the horse that Arad Ortiz is on today. He's the number 5 horse, 20-1, third in the Bluegrass, live long shot, and the number 6 horse that Jose is on, Chip Honcho, 5-1, one of the favorites for this Derby today. He's the number 6 horse. So they're riding by each other 5 and 6 today in the not the Derby, the Preakness. But go ahead, continue.
Let one of them win this Derby. Let one of them win the race today.
Oh, problems. Yeah, exactly.
And Jose Ortiz has a great chance. That horse is one of the favorites. But my point is, Cleveland decided to do some stuff on their own. They didn't wait for baseball to say anything. Dodgers haven't done that. I don't fault the Dodgers. Now, what he's involved with, supposedly, I cannot go with under any circumstance.
Agreed.
But baseball needs to step in. It doesn't matter, Dodgers. Doesn't matter, Cleveland. Baseball. No, we're not. You're not pitching again until we get this taken care of, whatever. Now, sometimes what teams or people will say is, we're going to let the law take its course. Let's see what goes on. Then we'll make our reaction right after. It's different ways they can do it. But when it's something egregious as this, like domestic abuse, even getting away from the animals, they'll step right in and say, you don't do nothing until further notice, if in fact they ever come back.
Right.
I'm saying Ortiz, almost people forgot about them already. They haven't been back. Who knows if they're ever coming back. So it's Major League Baseball I'm putting an eye at saying, what y'all doing? What are we doing here? Now, they may say, well, we're investigating. We're finding out, whatever. Okay. You don't want to just jump quick. Find out. But if they're involved in this illegal shenanigan thing, then you need to step in and tell them, you sit for whatever, till we get through with all this.
By the way, maximum penalty is 5 years in prison and a fine, and the maximum penalty for a spectator is 1 year in prison and a fine. And did you read what the ad for Edwin Diaz was, what it said and read and translated to English? Let me read it to you. This is crazy. So the text in one of the ads, when you translate it, reads, quote, "The Puerto Rico Cockfighting Club invites all enthusiasts to a special match and a grand tribute to one of our island's greatest sources of pride, a tribute to Puerto Rican star and cockfighter Edwin Sugar Diaz." I mean, again, how is he allowed to pitch right now? This is mind-boggling to me. And again, I don't want to be the guy that's, he's just hating and crapping on the Dodgers. He could be wearing my Diamondbacks uniform. I'd have a problem with it. Now, the Dodgers had a guy that celebrated when he had COVID on the field for the World Series, Justin Turner, and nothing happened to him. So maybe this is what they do get away with. But I'm amazed that I'm amazed these two jockeys. And by the way, USA Today has reached out to both Jose and Arad Ortiz. No comments. According to their brother's agent, Steve Rushing. So they're dodging this until after the race. They want to race, and then we'll address it later. Well, hold on now. Hold on. That doesn't jive with me either. I have a problem with that just as much as I do Diaz. But to me, something should be done. And this is a black cloud over both sports, and, moving forward until this gets, resolved or settled.
Yeah, the particular sport needs to step in, the governing body. This one, Major League Baseball, Horse Racing Association, whatever, and then make a quick decision. But see, the problem is if they jump in and say we're suspending you, blah blah, and the athletes will come out and say due process. We're being accused of something. We haven't been accused by the law. Now here we go into courts and whatever. A lot of times that's the issue. Right. Nobody wants to jump out real fast and say something,
right?
Because it's speculation. But even in Diaz's case, the ad and whatever, you got to be kidding me.
That's my point. So last year, Cleveland decided to sit out Ortiz and Clase until they got clarification. And you could say due process there. That was sports gambling, which is different than cockfighting or, like you said, any type of animals. And you could argue that this was in some severity. I'm not trying to be the judge or hear that, but I will tell you this. I do think this is a really bad look for that organization. It's not a good look for horse racing right now, which is already going through some issues. And by the way, it has some other things that have percolated in the last several months and involving, I think, just a race yesterday with how they're allowing some of these wagers to come in seconds until a race, and there's some controversy there. But that's neither here nor there. I just think it's not a good look. It's really bad, and I'm surprised this headline hasn't gotten more of a headline. And I'll tell you what, there's probably more to the story than what's come out. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg in some respects.
Yeah, I would. It almost always is. When we get it, it's kind of like there's more going on, or it's deeper in depth. In other words, the cockfighting, do I dare say dogfighting, whatever. It's probably going on more than we think. It's just either they've done a good job of staying in the shadows, the prominent athletes or whoever, or it's just they haven't been caught yet. And the gambling too. You look at professional athletes, even though I think all professional athletes are overpaid, all of them, period. Now, is that right? No, you get what you can get. But you got those guys making only $500,000 a year compared to guys making $20 million a year, and they could do something through betting to get a little bit, human nature. Some of them might say, okay, I'm going to risk it all, which to me is so stupid. You have something going. So you're playing baseball, let's say, and get paid $500,000 a year just to play baseball, and you want to risk it where the rest of us are struggling, can't put gas in a doggone car, whatever, can't buy groceries, and you want to risk $500,000 salary? Stupid. And there are a lot of athletes who are stupid making big money, and they shouldn't be because they don't know how to handle it. But it is what it is. But I'm with you that when I saw that thing about cockfighting, I said, no. When's the last time we heard about that? But I do know in some foreign countries it does go on, and it's accepted. And I'm like, I hope there ain't nobody in the pro sports involved. And bingo. Here comes Diaz, and now you tell me today Ortiz is involved.
This is a guy, 3 years, $69 million the Dodgers gave him back in December. And you know what? I blame the organization. You got to do your homework on something like this. I mean, they didn't know. I mean, boy, I know the Mets fans are glad it's not their problem now. They like to have him closing games in the ninth, but.
Well, yeah, and a lot, that's the other thing in our world. A lot of fans will say, so what? It's just birds. Who cares? As long as he's winning games for us, closing game. That's the attitude of a lot of people will take because he didn't hurt nobody. It was just birds. It was just dogs. It was just whatever. And I can't go with that because what happens when it is people, when they abuse somebody?
Well, let me ask you this question. Is this statement that he gave worthy of being suspended? This was from the Puerto Rican news outlet El Nuevo Dia, which featured him talking with them. It's legal, quote, it's legal in Puerto Rico. Thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, end quote, Diaz said in the publication. Quote, it's something I've done since childhood, something my dad instilled in me. The cockfighting arena is like my home, end quote. I mean, what else is there to say? He admitted it right there.
Yeah, right there, the Dodgers need to say, yeah, we're putting you on a suspension list. We got to investigate this now. That's self-incriminating. Right. And I like to think, and I could be wrong, when you sign a professional contract, sport contract, no. If you read the fine print, which maybe his agent didn't do, it'll have, you have to be in good standing. You have to avoid things that are looked upon as negative by the general public. Well, cockfighting is part of that. Now, do you specifically have to put that in print because it is quote legal?
He's also on the injured list. So, but that to me doesn't excuse, because you know how pitchers are with the injuries. Just like recently, a pitcher got suspended in one of those brawls. I forget which one. Apologies about that. I have a problem with how to do that, because if a guy gets 5-10 games, that's not even, or 3 games, that's not missing a start. I shouldn't say I don't care he's on the injured list. That doesn't excuse the crime here or the penalty. There should still be where this puts his career in jeopardy. Clase and Ortiz might not come back, and good. They did something that is against the rules in baseball. You are when you walk in the clubhouse, you are not supposed to bet. Case closed. So to me, the Dodgers want this to just, while he's injured, to go away quietly. No, he needs to be done. I mean, that's just, unless there is evidence to support that he was not involved. But again, he said it out of his own mouth. So
yeah, he's basically self-incriminated himself on that statement.
Yeah.
That statement right there, to me, is grounds to say you're done for a while until this really, we can find out what's really going on this event.
And I think he had the same loose bodies thing that Scooble had recently, another pitcher I just read. So he's had that. So he's supposed to be back at some point, I guess second half of the season or all-star break. I'm not sure when, but this is just a rotten look. It's a rotten look. And you know what? You can say, no, come on. It's a bad job by the Dodgers organization to not get out in front of this and to do their homework. This guy's got this background. You got to, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't take the Mets completely off the griddle, because you wonder how long they might have known or tried to. You don't know. So
yeah, because he's the one they originally signed. He signed with him originally. So did they do their?
That's what I'm saying. This is an investigation that could go further into where this could cost both of those franchises money and draft picks, potentially the Mets and Dodgers, because they might have known something that. And again, that's why I give Cleveland's credit. They were forthcoming. We're gonna, but the Dodgers trying to keep this. I got a problem with it. Stay tuned. We got more coming up here on 757 Sports Talk, including my top 5 NFL games for next season. The schedule's been released. Ed's already shaking his head. We're going to talk pro football in May. What's going on here? I
might do a rant on this, all this scheduling hoo-ha and how it's flipping over. And back in the day, they released the schedules. You found them somewhere, and then you went. Now it's like, okay, everybody ready? Here we go. First night. Here's who's playing.
Suit and tie.
And it's like, oh my God, it's over sensationalism. I'm tired of it. It's ridiculous. Who cares who's playing when and where and whatever? When we get to it, fine. Nobody should be playing Thanksgiving Day. Nobody should be playing on Christmas Day. Nobody should be playing on Christmas Eve. That's the time you spend with families. Get off of pro sports. Shut the TV off. Get with your family. We don't have those situations now. I'm sick and tired of this BS about scheduling here. We're going to do this here. And football, you're not the only one. Basketball is the same way. All right. There should be no NBA on Christmas Day. There should be no NBA on Thanksgiving Day. Nothing going on Easter. You spend time with family, get to know each other, put the phones down, turn the damn TVs off, and pro sports is not that important. I'm done.
Man, who peed in your oatmeal this morning? Jeez.
I do have a little bit of a headache, so. I mean,
we're on a sports show. You're telling us to get rid of sports. What is wrong with you?
No, I can't get rid of sports because that's part of my life. But I'm just saying, we're making a big deal on the schedule. Now, is we going to do this with the NBA next year? Are we going to do this with Major League Baseball, 162 games of every team? Find out the series, whatever. But football, the almighty football. Oh, we got to do this for football. We got to do this for football. We got to do this for football. We're going to do this for football because everybody wants to know what's going on in football in the game. Print the damn games out. Tell them to go where they could go find out on it. And then we could talk about some of the big matchups, when you're playing the other divisions, whatever. That's fine. I can do that. But to make a big deal about scheduling, I don't get it. I turned the radio off. I was driving to school and they put it out. I turned the radio off and went somewhere else.
Well, maybe put the radio on some music. Do I detect some hostility and jealousy of football from you?
No. I understand what it is. The NFL is so big because, first of all, they play 17 games.
Wait. It's about to be 18, but go ahead.
18. Okay, they play 18 games. Now be careful.
I mean, that's going to be, yeah.
Yeah, because probably in
they
5
get
years.
to 20, they let it be 20, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be 20. It definitely, because it's less games, basically once a week your teams play. It's more important than 162 games. This is why I don't get the Yankees. I'll take the Yankees. I don't want to go off on them. They win 15 of 17 games. A couple of my friends said, boy, I bet you're loving it. Y'all going to win the American League. I said, oh, the season's almost over. I didn't know that. I said, give us time. We'll screw up. The very next 2 series, we go 1-5. Gentlemen, it's 162 games. Don't forget, if you win 100 games, you're pretty good, right? If you win 100 games, you're pretty good. Well, that means you're going to lose 62. So, and the Yankees at the time had lost like 12 games. They're going to lose at least 50 more games. Why should I get upset that they're losing games now? So I don't, but I love the sport world, but I sometimes step back and say, we get so enamored, or whatever word I could put in there, with what's coming up next.
Enamored is the word, but go ahead.
Yeah. What's coming up next? And I'm like, that's not a news story or a sports story. That's not, go to something out. That's not the story, but we make it because people are just enthralled with it. And they're waiting to see with the proverbial bated breath, who does my team play? I didn't even look to see the Raiders schedule.
Well, that's because they stink. But we will come back and I'll give you my top 5 and you can bah humbug the whole segment, because there are people waiting with bated breath to see if I snub their team or if that game is in the top 5. So you can.
Well, I know one thing: your top 5. I guarantee your top 5 does not have an Arizona Cardinal game in it.
You sure about that?
If you do, people, you need to write in, call in, and protest the show, because there's no game the Cardinals play that's big. None.
We'll find out. Oh, they're all big. We're coming back with the top 5 right here on Cova Sports TV. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
That's right. We're back here on 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe, and interact with us all morning long on Cova Sports TV. What's this? Oh, shit. Where'd that go from? I'm going to have somebody do that to you in a grocery store. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have somebody dress up as a big bear and throw stuff at you in a grocery store and see if you can figure out.
I would go right to the bear. No question. I'd go right to the bear.
I love
it. I could see you dressing up as the bear and doing it to people because you like to instigate stuff.
I like to stir up.
And I'd like to see somebody just start pounding the crap out of you right in the store. I'd be like, "Now he asked for it, so I can't show no remorse. He asked for it."
You have so much anger. You have so much anger pent up and built up in you. I mean, it's really sad right now. You know that?
It's funny you say that. I talked about this with somebody the other day at school. We get older and we get accused of being the old man, get off my lawn.
Yes.
Complain. And I realized something. We always have that ability in us, but when we're younger, we don't really think about it. We don't really care because we're part of the shenanigans that are going on that are stupid. But as you get older and step back and watch, the stupidity that is going on in our world with common folk is utterly ridiculous. And it's not so much get off my yard, because I don't have a problem with anybody on my yard. But when I see, here's an example. I went to pull in a Walmart parking space the other day. I'm waiting for the lady. She had her door open. She takes her cart, puts it in the spot I'm turning into. Instead of walking 12 feet to put the cart with the carts, she leaves it right there. And I'm looking, I'm saying, I know she ain't leaving it there. She sees me.
Yes, she is.
She leaves it, gets in her car, and goes to drive away. Now, I backed up and pulled into her spot. But I wanted to say, and I think I said it in so many words, how stupid, lady, can you be? The carts go right over there. There's a car trying to get the spot, and you leave the cart in the spot. Ignorance, stupidity personified. And I'm tired. I don't care how old I am. I don't have time for people's stupidity. I just don't. I wanted to get out of the car, grab her by her shoulders, put her hands on the cart, and push her where the carts go and say, "Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm glad I could help you out today, ma'am." But I'm not that type of person. Or pushing me, I'm telling you, has nothing to do with my age. Stupidity is stupidity, no matter age.
Well, look at it this way. And thank you, Buck, for chiming in. Later in the show, we will give you a chance to hear some creative insults that you can give for some of these people. Now, listen, folks, Ed doesn't hate all people. He likes people, just like George Carlin said. He just likes them in short bursts. That's all. Short bursts. He likes people, including me.
Yeah, Buck Moore. Buck Moore's listening, my assistant, my tremendous friend.
And seeing you great, by the way, for folks who don't know. He's one of the best to lace him up at seeing you, which we'll get to later in the show because there's some news involving seeing you that we touched on last week.
Buck knows I'm a calm guy. I'm a caring guy. I try to help out. It's just the stupidity of others. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've done some stupid things, but leaving a cart.
No, not you.
Oh, I've done a couple things. Not like you. Now, you do a couple things every other hour. I'm like a couple things every week. But who would leave a cart in a parking spot? Just leave it there. When you walk 10 feet, you mean to tell me people are that lazy they can't walk 10 feet?
Yes. I'm just surprised it's taking you this long to learn all this.
I don't. I'm just like I said. I just don't have time for stupidity.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you do have time now for Hatfield's top 5 games for the 2026 National Football League campaign. Here we go. Who's ready for some football? 2026 style. We're going to go from game number 5 to game number 1. That's right. Short. John Stockton style. But all right, let's go to game number 5. Oh, Ed's going to say this game is too low. It's too high. It shouldn't be in this list. Here we go. Number 5 on the list. We go to week 2. I will say this. Week 1, the game's El Stinko to me. And I say that because I didn't want to see Seattle against the Patriots a rematch. We just saw that game. Why should we start the next season with a game we just saw to end last season, which wasn't that great a game? Seattle won them in a yarner. It was one of the more boring Super Bowls of all time. Give me like Seahawks-Bears, which might be on this list. But let's get to number 5. Number 5, the Lions at the Bills. Week number 2. Bills got a new stadium. We know how good they are. Remember a couple years ago they played? You remember that game, Ed, a couple years ago when the Bills and the Lions played? You remember that game?
Distinctly.
You remember what the score was of that game?
37. No. 28-7.
You were close. You said 28-7?
Yeah, it wasn't the game people thought.
No. Bills and Lions wasn't 28-7, but it was 48-42. Buffalo won over Detroit in 2024. High scoring shootout, great game. It was awesome. This one could replicate it. Might not be quite as high scoring, but it's worthy of being on the top 5 list. Number 4. Oh, I mentioned it. Bears Seahawks last year. Remember, went to overtime. Caleb Williams had the heroics, and then Seattle pulled it out. They returned to see each other. Actually, no, wait. That was not the Bears and Seahawks. That was the Rams and Seahawks. So this is why I want to see this game. Bears Seahawks. We'll see if it has the same type of flow to it. I'm going to go Bears Seahawks week number 8. Rams Seahawks was the game where the Rams pulled it out after Chicago tied it up in the divisional round. But I want to see Bears Seahawks week number 8. It's number 4 on the list. It's a Monday night game. I think Chicago will be competing for the NFC North division. All 4 teams should be live in that division with Minnesota. Now having Kyler Murray, formerly of my Cardinals, as well as Green Bay and Detroit. And then I think most of them in the NFC West are going to be live. The defending champs in Seattle, San Francisco, the Rams, and maybe my Cardinals. We'll see. Maybe in time. But that's number 4 on the list.
3 out of 4 will do well in that division.
You said what?
3 out of the 4 in the West will be good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I got to admit, you're right. Let's go to number 3 down on the list. This is a juicy one. Ravens at Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? This was a good game a couple years ago, too, by the way. Remember they met down in Big D? Remember it? The Ravens tried to give it away late? I do. I was invested in it. Ravens won 28-25. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. Let him run you home. But Dallas, this could make their season early in the campaign. Get a win at home over Baltimore. I think they're in business. What do you think of the list so far? We had Lions, Bills, and Buffalo. Bears, Seahawks, and Seattle. Ravens at Cowboys. And Big D. You okay with it so far?
Yeah, you got good picks. I'm gonna give you a good pick. Hey, Cowboys will be pretty good this year. Barring injuries and all that other mess, it'll be pretty good. I think so.
Positive of that?
Positive of that.
Okay.
We'll win their division.
Whoa!
Yep.
Over Philly, over the Commanders,
Philly,
and over the Giants.
Commanders will bring up the rear. Giants will get right over the Commanders. Eagles will be second.
Whoa, I'm surprised at that. That's a bold statement by you.
And Buck, I didn't say because you're a Cowboy fan. It's because I believe it.
I'm surprised at that one. You think the defense is good enough? You know, they still don't have Micah Parsons anymore. He's gone. Make sure you know.
I think they'll be all right. I think.
Okay. We'll see.
I think they're going to be all right. I really do.
Okay. Number 2 on the list, Rams at Seahawks on Christmas Day. Ho, ho, ho. Put some coal in Ed Young's stocking. This is the Christmas night game. Does it get any better than week 17 on a Friday night, Christmas night, after you've opened all the packages to see this potential NFC Championship preview or rematch from last year again? Home field advantage could be on the line. You know the stakes will be high for the playoffs. Ed just nodded his head to the dog to make sure everything's good with the dog, and he's going with it.
Yeah, he's over there throwing his bone. I put a little treat in his big bone. He wants to throw the bone in the air so the treat comes out. And he looked at me and I said no, because we're on the air. So.
Oh. Number 1 game. And Ed's going to say, why isn't this game number 1? You go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
When I see it, I'll give you my immediate first reaction.
Oh, I mean, this has got to be number 1. I talked about this earlier in the show with rivalries, and it's Chiefs. It's Bills. It's Thanksgiving night after you get your Lions and your Cowboys, your traditional trimmings with the family. You're getting ready for the Black Friday shopping. What's better than Mahomes, who should be back by then? I'm not sure he'll be healthy or back by week 1 with Denver, division rival, Monday Night Football to start the season. But middle of the season, oh yeah, he's ready for Josh Allen and the Bills, who have knocked out of the playoffs time and time again. But Allen and the Bills have had the Chiefs' number in the regular season. Buffalo got a good coach. Hey, look, Andy Reid and company trying to bounce back from last year's disappointing campaign. Bills, Chiefs, that's as good as it gets.
My first reaction was, not so fast, my friend. I don't think that's number one. I like the Chiefs. Of course, they're in the division with my Raiders, but that's okay because I already know where my Raiders will be, dead last.
We'll see you in the basement.
I think Buffalo wins this by a couple touchdowns. I don't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think.
You realize that Kansas City got the Super Bowl MVP from the Seahawks and Kenneth Walker at running back, right? You do realize that? Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Travis Kelce, has he hung it up yet? He's still there, right?
Yeah, he's still there. He's still there. Probably his last year, even though we said that last year.
Will Taylor Swift be shown more than 10 times? You can take over or under 9.5 for Taylor Swift's pictures on the TV screen during the game. I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna. You know what? I think the country's got enough looks of her. I'm gonna say under. I think 8 will be the number.
She'll be there for this one. She's got to be there for this one.
But I'm going Buffalo in that game by 2 touchdowns.
Well, but what if Josh Allen's hurt on November 26th? You're not gonna do that. You don't know.
I know it's a long way away. You're right.
Yeah, you just said. Why are we talking about NFL schedule? 6 months away, 4 months away.
Exactly. You're right. No. Let me get back on that rant because that scheduled stuff is still.
In the recap,
right? It's right here.
Bills is number 5. Bears at Seahawks is number 4. I don't know why I got Bears Seahawks mixed up in my brain with the Rams last year. I guess I was thinking of they played classic games. Did the Rams against them and also Carolina in the wild card round. We got one Rams game coming up, though. Ravens at Cowboys is 3, Rams at Seahawks, the rematch is 2, and Chiefs at Bills is 1. Let me know on Cova Sports TV. Let us know what we left out, who we snubbed, what's too high, what's too low, and we always appreciate you interacting and tuning in with us. Stick around. We've got more coming your way on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. You'll hear some more high school football sound. We got Nick Hahn talking Preakness around the corner, too. It's all on the way. And they're watching where, Ed?
Cova Sports TV, place to be.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
All right, I'm here with Green Run class of 2027 offensive lineman Malik Marsh as he is getting ready for his senior campaign. Malik, I know it's an exciting day for you. You just got your first SEC offer from South Carolina. How juiced up are you for the Gamecocks being on board among your, I guess it's now 15-plus offers you have?
Yes, sir, man. I'm very excited. I appreciate Coach Don for giving me the offer, and I appreciate him for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, Coach Blatt's a 7'5" guy, played in the Super Bowl with the Rams, 1-1, and of course started at UNC, now coaching with the Gamecocks after his career began at Western Branch High Chesapeake. Let's talk about you transitioning last year from, I think it was Oscar Smith to Green Run. How was that transition for you? And of course, you were a big part up front along with Tommy Waters going to Virginia Tech on that O-line for Coach Williams and the Stallions this past year.
It was definitely a move. I feel like it was the right move for me and my family, and I feel like it was a great move, being in the position that I am. I thank Coach Q and the whole Green Run staff for giving me this opportunity. Much love.
What was the big difference in your game from sophomore to junior year, and what did you learn most?
What I learned most for me is definitely like just the mental part. Like the mental part of playing online is like a big part. Like if you don't have the mental to play online, then you have nothing.
Sure, and that mentality continued to grow for you. Your football mentality, your physical abilities and traits are there. What is it you hear from the college coaches and those that evaluate that they like most about Malik Marsh in your game?
That I finish blocks for sure.
Sure,
I definitely finish a block. If I got my hands on you, man, you're going to have to go to the ground. That's it.
I know you love mixing it up with some of these tough edge rushers you have at Green Run, like Junius Clay and Quavion Cleveland.
Yes, sir.
You can take these guys, can't you?
Yes, sir. They definitely some dogs, every day I practice, we iron sharpen iron. So that's every day I practice. We always making each other better. Clay, he got that speed. Quay got the speed. Clay got the strength. So, it's making me better and them better too.
I love it. Now, you watch football, I'm sure. You got some linemen you like to study when you put on college or pro football tape. Anybody? I see some names coming to your mind. Go ahead.
For me, it's got to be Lane Johnson and Trent Williams.
Okay. What does he like about those two guys?
They're just dogs, man. I can sit there and watch them all day.
All right, good deal.
Get better.
Let's talk about your recruiting. You got the South Carolina offer. You got a bunch of them from Connecticut and Hampton and Southern Miss and Ohio and Old Dominion and Memphis. So I don't want to leave anybody out. What is it about some of these schools that are appealing to you? What are you looking for in a college home?
For me, man, it's just the coaching and the culture, man. Culture is a big part of me and my family. Like, we love the culture. For me to come to your school, you got to have great culture.
Sure.
And the coaching's got to be on point. And, how you guys treat family. Like, when I come, I want it to be like a big family.
Okay.
Warm up.
June 25th is going to be the commitment date, correct?
Yes, sir.
What made you land on that decision date?
It was just like the right time for me and my family.
Okay. Now, do you know what school it is yet, or are you still formulating with the list of options? You don't have to tell us which school if you do know which one it is.
I do know. I do know which one it is, but I had to save it for the date.
Okay, well then answer this one for me too. What distinguishes that school you're picking from the others? You mentioned about some of the things that are going to be important to you. What kind of separates that school from the rest, in your opinion?
The development.
Development. Okay. You're big on the development piece. Last two for you. As far as you developing and getting better, what are the things you're trying to work on in your craft to make you even meaner, stronger, tougher on the gridiron this year and beyond?
Man, it's just, I'm going to try to be coachable, man. I'm going to keep trying to be coachable so I can get better.
And lastly, for Malik Marsh and the Stallions to accomplish the goals this year, what's it going to take? And give me what your thoughts on this coming year as a senior. I know you got a big game, Huff from North Carolina. It's going to be a game you're pumped up for in September, right?
Yes, sir. For me, it's just going to how we going to work together. Are we going to work together, or are we going to just try to all do our own thing? We all going to have to try to work together.
Watch out.
To win that game.
There you go. Watch out for double nickel 55 for the Green Run Stallions. Malik Marsh, thank you so much.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And we're back here on Cova Sports. We like sharing some fun here. Of Green Run High School, one of the top linemen in the state from the class of 2027. As we transition from that to the second hour of the show, we now have to preview the Preakness with all of you out there. And to do that, we have one of the best in the business, our good friend and pal from the Off to the Races radio show. You can find it on ESPN Radio in Richmond and ESPN Harrisonburg, ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM, and ESPN Harrisonburg. And he's also online with some of his racing work at TheRacingBiz.com. Nick Hahn. Nick, good to be with you. How you been?
Doing well. Enjoy a crab cake today, maybe a black-eyed Susan. Sprinkle a little Old Bay in it, perhaps, for a little bit of a different twist. I just found out they might be doing a little bit of that at Laurel Park today. But great day of racing up here. I'm just located down the street from there, but I've been there the last 2 days. Got to see these horses in the morning. It's a little bit of a different setting with only 5,000 fans, nobody in the infield because it's basically a wetland in the infield. About a third of it is covered by pond. Sure. But it's going to be a historic day and a very interesting race. The Preakness has a way of sneaking up on you, and I think it did so again with the field that's been assembled for it.
Yeah, I want to get to that with you, and I'm sure we'll touch on, obviously, the elephant in the room about no Golden Tempo, the one that won the Derby here, and where the state of horse racing is. There's also a couple other situations that are popping up here. But I look at this field, Nick, and the thing that jumps out at me is there are like some long shots that are legitimate in this thing, and I'm looking at 20-1, 30-1. I mean, I saw it at 30-1, number 11 horse, Corona de Oro. John Velasquez is the jockey, and he's one of the more acclaimed jockeys in the sport. And there are a bunch of these horses. I mean, take Ocelli that you talked about with the Virginia Ties, the number 2 horse. It was third in the Derby at 70-1, and it was not expected to be there. And now it's one of the favorites coming in, right?
I mean, it is really a compelling field. When you look at Ocelli, this is going to be his 4th start in 2 months. You do not really see that much in modern day horse racing. And when you see him in the morning, when you see talk to Whit Beckman, his trainer, and you see him going out on the track, he looks great. I mean, this does not look like a horse that has run in 3 Kentucky Derby preps, including the Derby itself, where he just had an incredible run in the Derby and you might see a little bit. This is something where you will see maybe a little bit of the Derby repeat itself, where there's a lot of speed in the race, a lot of early speed. Horses are going to be up on the lead. And then not only Ocelli, like he did in the Kentucky Derby, where he briefly had the lead inside the 16th pole at 70-1, but Incredible, a horse that won the Virginia Derby. He came from 14th to finish 6th in the race, in a race that had a lot of argy-bargy, as they said, a lot of horses moving in and out, and a little bit of bumping going on, quite frankly. And so that setup is going to be very similar. It's just for Incredible, who's coming back in 2 weeks. He's got rest. He had 7 weeks between the Virginia Derby and the Kentucky Derby. He didn't get a race in between. That's not the case with Ocelli. And then the horse you're talking about, Coronado de Oro, Dallas Stewart is the trainer of that horse. He is known for getting up into the exactas and trifectas with horses that he's really not expecting to. Johnny Velasquez has won the Preakness before. Currently 15-1 in the wagering. So that's a horse that has an angle to it as well. The horse that's really gotten a lot of local attention is Taj Mahal for Brittany Russell and Sheldon Russell, her husband, who's the jockey on this horse. A lot of local horses kind of made a splash. They haven't done so in the Preakness over the years, but they really haven't done so in maybe over a decade. This horse seems to be a little bit different and will gets better with every race. The farther distance, the farther he goes, and with each race, this horse keeps getting better. And he's one of the co-favorites, along with Incredible, to 5-1 currently.
And, of course, Cherie DeVoe, the first female trainer to lead a horse to a Kentucky Derby victory with Golden Tempo. And I know, Ed, you were high on Incredible, and I imagine you are again for this weekend's Preakness, aren't you?
Yeah, Nick, great to see you again. I don't know what I want to pick now because I kind of slid with Nick last time in the Derby, and I won 3 cents off the Derby. So that helped me worth the darn.
At least you won.
Yeah, you didn't lose. Yeah.
Do you know the horse player's prayer?
What's that?
The horse player's prayer.
What is it?
Please, Lord, let me break even. I really need the money.
There you go. That's me. Like Matt was saying, I've looked at these and I've heard a bunch of different interviews this week, and almost every person they talk to has a different horse as they're they dug through it and said, hey, this horse can do this. This horse. Almost, I would say half the field. So now I'm thinking, look, somebody got to give me the winner. I'm not going to ask you yet who you're picking because I want to see if we're together on this. I do like Incredible a whole lot, and I picked them to be in the top 3 in the Derby. I'm going to pick them to be in the top 3 in this one, And I have gone crazy on this selections too, to the point every day I'm picking somebody different. And today, my number, the one I'm picking, I'm anxious to see what you say about it, Napoleon Solo as my winner out of nowhere.
Like that one.
And watch out for, as long as he don't throw his jockey, Great White. That's a huge horse that get moving and bump that horse. You're the one that's going to be moving. Great White's going to keep on going. So I'm going to look at a threesome of Napoleon Solo, Incredible, and I'll probably go, just so I can try to win my 3 cents back, the favorite, Iron Honor. But boy, I want to go with Taj Mahal too. So I'm all over the place, Nick. Get me straight.
Not bad picks. The one thing about Napoleon Solo is that my colleague Frank Vespi with the Racing Biz believes, and from a speed figure standpoint, it is true. He has the best race. He has the best win in the Preakness field. The problem is it was a year ago when he won the Champagne Stakes. He ran a 95 buyer. He's been a little bit disappointing in 2 starts this year. I actually had a future ticket on him for the Kentucky Derby at one point. But he's a horse that could pop up. He's kind of regal in that sense. He's a horse that really captured a lot of people's attention. Incredible is the style of the race is going to fit him. One thing about this Preakness with the 14 horses, this is the first time we've had a full field of 14 horses for the Preakness since 2011 when Shackelford won it on the front end. So they all kind of showed up expecting a void, and the 2 horses that came out of the Derby were horses that people really didn't expect to do well in the Derby. I should throw Robusta in there as well, because even though he was 14th, that's another horse that's coming out of the Derby, but it kind of left a void there. Iron Honor is a horse that everybody was big on, and his trainer Chad Brown said after a very disappointing running in the Wood that he was going to pass the Derby, and the Preakness really fit his style. So that's a horse that's been pointing to this race with his underneath his trainer Chad Brown. Has Flavien Prat aboard, one of the leading riders. They say something in horse racing when you go through the PP lines and look at the program. Every now and then, people just have a bad game. Can't make a free throw, can't kick it through the goalpost. Can't hit the ball or whatever, makes errors. The same thing happens in horse racing. Draw a line. So, for those who like Iron Honor, draw a line through the Wood Memorial. The horse looks a lot better. So, I'm not going to talk you off of any of these horses. And if you look at the wagering, you have 2 horses at 5-1 as co-favorites currently. You never see that in the Preakness. The Preakness is usually a big Kentucky Derby favorite at 8-5 or 2-1. Having 2 horses co-favorites at 5-1, that just shows you how confusing this field is going to be. It makes for interesting racing.
It does. Talking with Nick Hahn, of course, of the Off to the Races radio show, ESPN Richmond, as well as ESPN Harrisonburg, as well as theracingbiz.com, our guest on 757 Sports Talk, as we preview the Preakness here on Cova Sports TV, Ed.
Nick, I wanted to back up on they're running at Laurel Park instead of their regular place. How much different is that going to affect the horses? Laurel Park, if I'm not mistaken, I did some reading, a little wider track, a little longer track. Talk to us about that.
I've actually made it a point to talk to a couple of jockeys, current and retired, about that very point. It is a longer. Pimlico's a mile. Laurel is a mile and an eighth. They run the race a mile and 3/16. The turn's going to come up quicker. A lot of people kind of think Pimlico has, they call them tighter turns. It's really sort of bank turns. But to a rider, they said, the turns won't be as significant. You don't have to worry about, because they're more gradual. They're rounder. They're not as sharp. They're at Laurel. So, and the track, Pimlico was more of a speed favoring track. Laurel has certainly been fair. That's a good thing to say about the racing being moved down the Laurel. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a lot more fair But there is a lot of early speed in this race, so expect a fast pace like you always seem to get in the Derby, and it really kind of speaks well to really the only closers in the race, which happen to be the Virginia Derby alumni, Oselli and Incredible. Pimlico, for those that don't know, they finally tore down the grandstand. It had to be done. It was a very cute, charming place, but it was starting to really show its age and almost started to become dangerous in many ways. So they've torn it down. They race at Laurel this year while they're rebuilding Pimlico. I actually had a chance to go up there and look at the construction, and everything's down. They just started building the structures for the barns, the framing, if you will. And there are a couple things. They built a massive tunnel to the infield. So the Preakness will be back, and I think the community's looking forward to have it back. But with the smaller crowd, only 5,000, because that's all that they can accommodate at Laurel, you won't have quite the hoopla. It'll look very much like a kind of a big day at a typical track. It'll be a Saturday at a track with only 5,000, where at the Preakness at times they had over 105,000.
Good deal. Now, when you look at it from a 14 horse field, full field at the Preakness here, Nick, something Ed and I have discussed on the program and with you, I know Daryl Wood, as others have come on the show too. Are you paying, when you handicap it, more attention to the jockey or the trainer as you try to decipher and you're getting down to your picks for an exact trifecta, whatever it might be, any type of box pick? What's more the separator for you? Is it more along the sides of the jockey or the trainer? And does that change with this type of setting, this type of field? What's your view?
Well, you're going to get my book preview, I think, if I ever write a book on handicapping, because here's what I do. Okay. I take a third out of the program. When I'm making my decision, try and do a third out of the program, what the PPs are, what the race histories are, what the breeding has been. I take a third out of what I try to see, and this is a hard thing for me because I didn't really grow up with horses, but I try and look at the horses. Are they alert? Are their ears up? How do they look in the paddock? Are they washing out? So that's another third. If you show up not ready to play, you're not going to play that well. And so I kind of look at that as a third of my handicapping. And then the other third is sort of the jockey trainer, intangible type of thing. So, is there a local rider that is hot? Sheldon Russell is very capable of winning the Preakness aboard Taj Mahal at Laurel. Its trainer, Brittany Russell, had 2 wins yesterday with Taj Mahal, or with horses at Laurel Park. So I do a third. So I don't really put one over the other. I kind of hope that I try to put 2 of the thirds together at least. And that's usually how I come up with my pick.
Good deal. Ed?
Another horse that I'm looking at, probably more because of the name, but it's a long shot. It'd be the one maybe other than Great White. I love the name. The Hell We Did. 15-1. Now, trainer is it Todd Fincher. He's done well. Fincher's done well. So this could be a long shot. I know when Matt, we began the interview with you, you said there's some long shots that have a great chance. Does this one have a great chance?
Has a very live chance, and you're not alone in thinking that. 9-1 in the current wagering. The Hell We Did. One thing that Todd Fincher did, he's from the Southwest. He trains horses out in Oklahoma and New Mexico, and that's kind of where he's based. He brought this horse. I think this was, other than Taj Mahal, who has been on the grounds, because that's where his 3 career races have been at Laurel. This was a second horse on the grounds and has been here a while. So he is really acclimated to the climate. There's a lot that can be said for that. Acclimated to the track. He thinks it's home. He doesn't know that he's from the Southwest anymore. That's how long he's been here. So interesting pick here. And yeah, you got to love the name. He was in the race with a horse recently. I failed to remember the exact name, but it may have been like What the Hell or something like that. And so you almost had the track announcer saying, what the hell we did, what the hell, that we were looking for them to match up, but it didn't quite happen. There's a famous one that happened a few years ago between the wife already knows and don't tell the wife, where they had hooked up in a stretch stool and the track announcer's sitting there saying, the wife already knows, don't tell the wife already knows. And, sometimes you get that with these interesting names with the horses. But I think Luis Saez, this is a horse that'll be out on the front end here with the hell we did.
Well, Nick, that reminds me, I'm sure you've heard of or seen the sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond with Ray Romano, where Frank Barone, the character played by the late, great Peter Boyle, won with the horse. It's a sure thing. Marie's Mouth, in honor of Doris Roberts, his wife, Marie Barone, and it won their race, reminds me of that. But before I let you bolt here and give you a chance to tell people how they can find your work and all the great things you do with horse racing, I do have to ask the elephant in the room about Golden Tempo, not having the chance for the Triple Crown. What's your take on this? And also, we brought it up with not just the Ortiz brothers, but the closer for the Dodgers involved with this cockfighting situation. How much is horse racing got to police these things and some of the controversy? Because this is a beautiful sport. It's a wonderful sport to partake in, and people love it all across the world. But there are some things that there are black clouds out there. What's kind of your view of right now where it is?
Well, certainly the issue with the cockfighting and the Ortiz brothers, I don't know. I saw it. It kind of was brought to my attention, I want to say, Thursday night. Okay. And I just haven't kind of done enough background research to really speak intelligent. It is disturbing to see that, obviously, and it's certainly something that's frowned upon. And image means a lot in horse racing. So I think it's going to be corrected. If it's as valid as it may have been presented, how stupid could they be? But between with the 2 weeks from the Derby, and I'm a big advocate of this, they need to run this race next weekend. This race should typically be run on Memorial Day weekend. 100%. I think there's a lot of things that can be done. It's too close to the shadow of the Kentucky Derby. I think it's a subtle enough shift. These trainers and owners, once they win or run well in the Kentucky Derby, it's the first thing they're asked, and everybody's expecting an answer. They don't have a time to evaluate their horse. Eventually they get tired of answering and they just say, no, not going to do the 2 weeks. And, if you're not ready for it, if your horse isn't prepared for it, I don't think it is a big tradition, Buck, to move this race one more week. It's not to get more Triple Crown winners or less or what. To me, it's about having Maryland have a proper venue and a proper setting to showcase the racing that they have, and they don't get it with 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby. I'd love to see it. Doesn't happen every year. 3 weeks after the Derby, 6 years out of 7, it works for Memorial Day weekend. There's 1 year out of 7 where it won't be Memorial Day weekend. So, but the whole nature of the event has changed, where you used to have college kids bringing in coolers to the infield. 9/11 kind of changed that a little bit. You don't have that aspect of it, and that has dwindled the crowd. It does seem to need to have a little reinvention. I'm not a big fan of doing anything more than that. I don't like to see 4 weeks between the races. I think it spreads it out too far, it drags it out too much into the summer. But I think it needs an extra week. I think it would make a big difference. It just give people a chance to exhale from the Derby. For a lot of people, hey, the Derby's first of the month, first Saturday in May. They don't even go through another pay cycle on their paycheck, before they run the Preakness again. So, and I'm not just saying that from wagering, just event planning and everything else. A lot of people would probably that go to the Derby might look at the Preakness differently if it was 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks after the run for the Roses.
No, you make some excellent, valid points here. I'm with you 1,000% on it. It just makes all the sense in the world. Before we let you run here, and you can tell the folks how they can find out everything with the radio show and online, the work there. Give Eddie's listening. He's writing it down. What's the attack plan? Give him an idea. He's got the pen. A win, play, show, any type of trifecta exactly that will make him some money and will make you look like a genius later on when we play this and you're right. Go ahead.
Let me put a little recognition out there first. I'm going to say on TheRacingBiz.com, TheRacingBiz.com. Frank Vespi is the proprietor of the website. I do a lot of work out of Virginia and Maryland for him on it. Off to the Races, ESPN Richmond, ESPN Harrisonburg, and archived on TheRacingBiz.com. My official picks for the race is going to be Oselli. I'm going to give Oselli the nod, 8-1. I think he might come back and do it. That kind of bucks what I traditionally think of the Preakness. I'm going to put Incredible second. I think that it could be a Virginia Derby exacta. I like Taj Mahal third, and I'm going to put Iron Honor fourth. So 12-2-1-9 are my picks. In a very wide open Preakness. Somehow I found a little bit of chalk there when there's probably other opportunities. You pick the winner in this race, you're going to be rewarded.
I love it. Hey, if you hit that superfecta, trifecta, exact, Ed shall buy you steak dinners for the rest of your life, Nick, because he's gonna go take this to the bank.
He bets that much.
Nick, I'm writing it down. I'm going to bet it. Okay. If I win big, yes, I'll take care of you a little bit here and there. If I lose, I will be knocking on your door because I'll find it. And I want at least the money back that I bet. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Yeah. A little bet back, a little guarantee your money. We got to get you guys, Coach Matt, out to Colonial Downs this summer. Opening day, June 25th. Very interesting. Great facility. Great place to see the races. If you haven't been, we got to get you out there this summer. Thursday through Sunday racing.
I said the last time we want to do. Do they race Saturday mornings? Like we'd like to do our show out there, or maybe we'll just go out and tape it and then do it and go with the horses. I've been there a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Great atmosphere. Love it.
It's a venue that most Virginians haven't seen, and when they go out there, they just go, wow, I did not know this was here. This is wonderful, especially when in the summer when all the leaves are on the trees. It's actually can be kind of cool, even in the heat of the New Kent summer. But, Saturday morning, I do my show out there live Saturday morning. Awesome. I don't see why you couldn't.
Awesome. Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll come join you in the second hour.
For sure. Yeah. You come on the show with us the whole time. I'd like to get some of your thoughts on like some other sports and whatever, really have you on there. And then we can sit back and put Matt on a horse and say, giddy up, go, and watch him hold on for dear life around the track.
Put me through that shuffle.
Maybe he'll make weight. What do you think?
I know, right?
Can we get him down to about 116? He dropped a little bit. He looks good out there.
I did drop some. Thank you. I did. Not quite there yet. I got some work to do to get on a horse. But
at my weight, Nick, you'd have to let me ride an elephant. There ain't no way I can get on a horse.
I have. Hey, always
be great white. He's 1,350 pounds. Great white might be
horse.
That's right. Huge horse. Well, always a pleasure, Nick. You be well. I'm sure we'll talk again soon, and have a great one.
You too. Enjoyed it. Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, man.
The one and only Nick Hahn with us here from the Off to the Races radio show, ESPN Richmond and Harrisonburg, as well as TheRacingBiz.com. We got one more segment on this episode. It's one more segment, I think, something like that. You're going to hear from another one of our football interviews that we had. We'll give you our official Win Play Show picks for the Preakness as well. You're watching 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching where, Ed?
Cova Sports TV.
Now
like, quick, share, subscribe.
Time out. Back it a bit.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
All right, I'm here with Great Bridge wide receiver Alonzo Dunkentell, 48 grabs for 634 yards and 10 touchdowns a season ago for the Wildcats. He's competing in the Emory and Henry prospect camp here in Virginia Beach. Alonzo, how's the offseason training going for you? I know you got your first offer just a few weeks back from Memphis, so you got to be pretty stoked how recruiting's starting to unfold for you.
Yes, sir. The offseason is going pretty good. You know, I'm just really in the weight room trying to get bigger. I went from 165 to now I was at 187.
Wow.
Speed has been a real big progress for me. I ran a 4.75 before, but then today they got me with a 4.47.
Okay.
So, you know, I've just been trying to grind, really to just like work and take my team to the playoffs, do something that hasn't been done in over 11 years.
Yeah, Great Bridge has not had as much success as some other schools in Chesapeake like the Oscar Smiths and Indian River, but you certainly, your offense playing Coach Wood's first season at the helm, you guys opened up some eyes late in the year. I know your quarterback, Will Englert, I think moved on to William and Mary, I think it was. So
yes,
tell me about just playing in that type of offense. It feels like you kind of flourished down the stretch and you kind of made a name for yourself.
Playing in that type of offense was just nothing but amazing. You know, I was the leading receiver, so like they relied on me and like not just like to catch the pass,
sure,
but like do other things like run the ball, throw. I just loved it. It was a breakout season before like this is the first coach to actually take a chance on me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sophomore year, I didn't even get to play offense.
Really?
Yes,
what were you playing? Just defensive back?
Defense, and I was actually playing like a linebacker type of spot.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's different in your game now as you go from junior to senior year? You mentioned about the difference in your speed, the 40 times. I noticed some things you're trying to polish up in your game, but what do you think that the difference is and the things you've been concentrating on the most?
The difference is just how dominant I am. Like last year, I was just too small to like really just bully the DBs. And also I'm going to be getting more defensive snaps this year. Just being an overall complete athlete.
Good deal. And I know working in the weight room is a big effect for you too. How about out here? What do you hope when people watch you at camp or watch on Friday nights this year at Great Bridge, perhaps beyond that, seeing Alonzo Dunkentell's game, that maybe your strengths are or best traits in your game?
I really just I try and make my hands a very, very, very strong point. I don't like dropping passes, and I'm working on my route running, my speed. I really love my speed. Speed, hands, physicality is my biggest thing.
Got the combination there, so I'm sure you watch football on Saturdays and Sundays. The guys played in the pros in college. Who are the ones you try to pattern your game after you enjoy the most?
I really like Justin Jefferson.
Okay, what is it about JJ for the Vikes?
I just like his route running and how smooth he is. Like he looks effortless.
Sure. Last two for you in recruiting. You got the offers from Memphis that's in play. I know Emory Henry's going to be looking at some other schools. Who are some other schools that are giving you some interest right now? Maybe you'll go visit here in the off season, here in the summertime.
Duke, Liberty, Buffalo, William and Mary, Marshall, things like that.
What are the things you're looking for as you go through the process? What are going to be the factors that matter?
For me, it's really just academics, how close I am to family, and just what feels like home.
Sure. Family, the home feel, the environmental grades are good. You like was a 3.7 GPA
Yes,
classroom?
3.71.
You know what you want to study?
I want to do pre-med. Kinesiology.
Not bad, kinesiology there. And lastly, for this year, you have some goals in mind, I'm sure statistically, but like you said, getting your team that winning taste is something that matters to you, getting the victories and helping your team get better.
Yes, sir. It doesn't matter what I get, as long as we go to the playoffs and have a winning record.
He's seeking the postseason before he gets to play football on Saturdays. Alonzo Dunkentell, watch out for him with the Great Bridge Wildcats in Chesapeake. Thanks so much.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Pretty polished young man right there, Alonzo Dunkentell, Ed of Great Bridge, wide receiver. It is 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV with Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield as we close this episode of the program. It's time now for our win, play, show picks for the ponies. So give it to us, Ed. You heard from Nick Hahn. And by the way, I also want to shout out there as we end the show, our thoughts and condolences to Daryl Wood. He wanted to come on today, but it was actually his father's funeral up in Buffalo. He has promised to come on with us during the Belmont, or the day of the Belmont. So we send our best, our prayers and thoughts to Daryl Wood and his family. He wanted to come on, but he had that step up. So we had that happen. So we thank Nick Hahn for coming on and stepping up in his place again. But what do you got, Ed? Give us your picks. You heard from Nick. You going to copycat?
I want a copycat, but I'm going to do. I'd said Incredibold anyways. Now you want exact 1, 2, 3, right?
Yes, you could copycat, because if you copycat, what we'll get to play is that
this guy is a saboteur.
You're a saboteur, as Frank likes to say. Go ahead. What do you got?
I know Frank was really complaining last night.
Oh, he was mad last night. No question.
We lost to the damn Yankees.
What do you got? Win, play, show. Remember, for those that missed it, Nick's picks, he went 12-2-1-5 in his horse selections.
I don't have the numbers, so give me numbers as I tell you the name. Put the number for me.
By the way, for those that want to know those, 12-2-1-5 it was technically the 12 horse. Whoops, I just had it and I lost it as it goes off my phone. 12 horse Incredibolt to win. The Virginia connections there. O'Selly, the 2 with Virginia connections. The 1, Taj Mahal, and the 5, Talkin'. It is a lot of talking, so he's probably going to pick that. What do you got?
I'm going to go, and I'm changing it again as we speak. Give me Taj Mahal off the rail.
Ooh.
Come from way behind to win.
Wow, you're going with the 1 post. I'm shocked.
Yeah. Incredibolt 2.
Okay, that's the big place at number 12 horse. Okay.
And Iron Honor, the favorite.
9. So you're going 112-9 for your trifecta. My superfecta, my 4, I'm going to go win, place, show. I'm going to take the one you liked, Napoleon Solo, the number 10 horse. I'm going Corona de Oro to just be nudged out by a nose, number 12. I want to pick it to win with the jockey and John Velasquez, who's trying to be the oldest winner at the Preakness. And then I'm going to go with Incredibolt to show. I'm going to go 10, 11, 12 with Taj Mahal to finish 4th. So there you have it. That will do it for this episode. And as we promised, Ed was having his rants earlier, so now he's got some creative insults to share.
Creative insult.
Everyone has a right to be stupid, but you're just abusing the privilege at this point. I bet the place you work got a tax break for hiring you. Working with you is like working with myself, but harder. As an outsider, what are your views on intelligence? You're not useless, you're just situationally unhelpful. You have a unique ability to misunderstand the most simple things. I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be confused. Some people have delusions of grandeur, you have delusions of competence. You have a face only a mother could pretend to love. You're not difficult, you just make everything harder than it needs to be. You couldn't pour water out of a boot if the instructions were written on the heel. Keep rolling your eyes, maybe you'll find something useful back there. You don't lack intelligence, but you definitely don't possess it either. You look like you clap with your fingers spread. You have the confidence of someone who's never been corrected.
There you go. We'll see you later. You got your insults.
Praise be the Lord. Everything those kids said, I've been saying about this Joker for years. Thank you for playing that. I feel much better today.
Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Have a great sports weekend, folks. We'll talk to you again.